Newspaper Publicists Association's Let It Be Known. The debt ceiling vote is in, and what happened on Capitol Hill last night? Yeah, they passed it. We'll discuss that. The owner of a Columbia, South Carolina store, an Asian man, was arrested and charged with murder in the shooting death of a 14-year-old named Cyrus Carmack-Belton, a black teenager whom the store owner falsely accused of shoplifting and then shot him in the back. We will discuss that as well. A third man was charged yesterday in the 2002 murder of Jam Master Jay, the groundbreaking member of Run-DMC. We're going to have details on the latest in that case. They finally seem to have got their man. And remember, with the bomb threats at HBCUs last year, well, the Department of Education has provided new grants to those schools to help with potential future issues and to recoup some losses when campuses were shut down. Also, now I've heard like my 24-year-old say this word, bussin. I've heard other young ones say bussin and grill and kitchen. Well, they are among the new words that will be included in the new Oxford Dictionary of African American English. We will discuss some more new words that's going in the dictionary. And June kicks off Black Music Appreciation Month. That's right. It is June 1st. And President Biden has issued a special proclamation to mark the occasion. All this and possibly more as Let It Be Known starts right now with the one and only Barrington Salmon and that lady from Houston, Rashonda Tate. What's going on?
Good morning. Good morning.
Now, let me start by saying I'm a little bit depressed this morning. I'm a little, maybe not depressed, I'm a little angry. So yesterday, you know, and Barrington is included in this because he wasn't here yesterday, but he should have always have my back. So I got this morning. You see what this is?
Can't see it.
What's wrong? You got your glasses on? It's a bottle of purified Wegmans water with minerals added for taste. All right?
Really?
Yesterday, you learn who your friends and loved ones really are. So yesterday, I'm just right here live, dying, started just coughing and choking, and no one would come to my rescue. And you know, I found out some things, like even my dear, loving sister texts me. You know, she lives in the same city. She goes, well, I'm not that close. So just die a slow death.
Give me time to get there.
Yeah, give me time to get. And then the wife and kids. You know what she told? Oh, my wife came in. She finally bought water after I was resuscitated. Not before, but after. She says, well, we were busy. We were busy. And then, you know, Barrington's supposed to be watching, but he was not watching yesterday. So he could.
I was watching, but
he was watching me die.
No, I saw you start coughing, and I went off to do something else. I didn't know that you were dying.
Oh. I saw him. He's heard that, right, Rashonda?
Stacy.
Oh, my God.
You're acting like, I don't know where your undisclosed location is. You could be anywhere.
He walked away. But then on top of all of that, our great director and producer, she doesn't like take me off the camera or pan back. You know what she did? She zoomed in on. I said, "Where's the love?"
Look, she's trying to go viral so y'all can get more viewers. It's all playing out.
Let him die, and people will watch from now on. Barrington will host.
Oh, Lord.
Barrington will host. He'll bring Austin on sometimes, and they'll say, "Remember that guy that we was."
You shouldn't be depressed. You're alive.
Power 96 said you were choking like the Knicks did. Happy Juneteenth. Hey,
no, you were choking like the Celtics did.
Like the Celtics, right. There you go. Game 7. And notice Rashonda is very quiet on that issue of the Celtics and Knicks. I mean, last time I checked,
I was still rooting for the Rockets.
Hakeem had retired, 20-something years ago?
I know, right? Give it up.
Guys, it's a Thursday morning. It is the 1st of June, and June kicks off, interestingly, in the world of politics in a resounding display of unity. The House of Representatives voted today, or yesterday, I should say, to pass the debt ceiling legislation following intense negotiations between House Speaker Kevin McCarthy and President Biden. The bill now heads to the Senate and comes just in time to prevent what was potentially a catastrophic default. 314 Congress people voted for this legislation. 117 voted against it. It was 149 Republicans that joined forces with 165 Democrats. This bill, Rashonda, has a lot of things in it. One of the things that folks was not happy with, among other things, the work requirements for SNAP and things of that nature. But Joe Manchin, the Democratic senator out of West Virginia, snuck in a natural gas pipeline in West Virginia, and a lot of people are really unhappy about that.
Yeah, but I think people are going to be unhappy around anywhere you go. The problem I see with this is, why do we have this issue over and over each time? I just, that's the root of the problem. And then you get certain people that want to hold it hostage, want to hold the country hostage. I am glad that at the end of the day, they did not, because this would have been on a silver platter serving up for many of the Republicans. Let the country fail. So I'm glad at the end of the day, they didn't take that approach. But this is ridiculous that we go through this over and over.
Over and over, and they keep punting it, kicking it down the road, because this will get them through the election. It's a 2-year deal. But Barrington, I think that's a great point Rashonda brings up.
Yeah. I wish we were in a country where, when McCarthy and Taylor Greene and all them people did this stuff, that they'd get punished during elections, but they don't. You still have these people who will vote for them, do or die. It is a manufactured crisis. Marjorie Taylor Greene and those folks said that they wanted to do it to ensure that Biden would fail. But it's interesting because every analysis that I've heard and or read, they said that Biden beat the brakes off of
McCarthy.
That simpleton, McCarthy. So then you wonder, what was it all about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing too that McCarthy was able to get those votes from Republicans. Obviously, it was Democrats, like you said, who saved the day, but McCarthy was able to get those votes from 117 Republicans.
Yeah.
The MAGA wing really went ballistic yesterday.
Yeah.
As expected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and they are getting they're gearing up. They're saying that their constituents want McCarthy to go, and they're ready to turn over some desks on Capitol Hill, and we'll see what kind of damage they cause for them.
But Rashonda, do you think that it's real? Because I think that a lot of what they do in cases like this is so performative. They're just playing to the base. I don't know how serious. Because if they were as serious as they claim to be, all of them would have voted against it.
Yeah, I think it's for the record. It's so that they can, when they go and run again, they can tell the people, I fought for you. But behind closed doors, I think a lot of them have sense. And they're like, let's move this country forward, but we're going to get out here and we're going to put on a show. Because since the Trump era, everything has been about a show.
Yeah.
She said, Barrington, she says she thinks they have sense.
Well, Marjorie Taylor does, but the rest of them, I think a lot of them do.
But they keep on trying to tell us that there's a moderate part of the Republican House, but I don't believe it, because whatever it was that they passed with the 20% cuts and all that stuff, all the Republicans voted for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we need to start thinking about what type of labels we give them, because they're all in the same bag, they're all doing the same thing.
Yeah. So. I want to say good morning to Michelle's Delicious Delights. There you go. So here we go. Let it be known. Brought to you by Michelle's Delicious. What is Michelle's Delicious Delights? You got to let us know, Michelle's Delicious Delight. What is Michelle's Delicious Delights? Let us know about that before we start putting banners up for Michelle's Delicious
Right.
Look, it could be something by the Bunny Ranch in Las Vegas, and I don't know.
That'd be funny.
Listen, what's not funny is what keep happening over and over again in this country, and that is this America's over infatuation with guns and gun violence. A 14-year-old black teenager on Sunday was shot and killed by a convenience store owner. That man right there, Rick Chow, who's 58 years old, had alleged that Cyrus Carmack-Belton was shoplifting. The county sheriff, Leon Lott, said he did not shoplift anything. Making it worse, this man and his son chased down this 14-year-old, shot him in the back. And this was like blocks away from the store as well. They took him into custody, charged him with first-degree murder. And it's just, the sheriff stopped short. He said he doesn't think it was a race motivated crime. And of course, everyone else in South Carolina said, you out of your mind. This was all about race. This was all about profiling. It keeps happening, Barrington.
Yo, I have gotten to start calling America the killing fields and it's interesting because when I've talked to people, we've had discussions and stuff. If you look at statutes, if you look at laws, the police, the system protects property. It doesn't have to protect human life. Human life doesn't matter. And Black lives matter less. Yeah. For me, it's like, how much is a bottle of water? It surely isn't worth the young man's life.
Well, that's what the sheriff said too. Sheriff Lott was saying, even if he was shoplifting, he said, was it worth killing him? Was it worth running after him and shooting him in the back the way he was hunted down? I mean, he was hunted down by these folks, this man and his son.
And chased out, and then for the sheriff to say that there's no racial bias, and he probably is saying that because he's trying to keep tempers at a minimum. But there is no way, nothing you can say to me, even if he did put a bottle of water in his pocket, you can say to me as his mother, he deserved to be chased out of this store and gunned down like a dog in the street. Yeah, they're gonna have to send a message with this one.
Well,
and this needs to close. This business needs to close on it. This story infuriates me.
Yeah, it really does. And by the way, Michelle's Delicious Delights is a food blogging page that presents cuisine, Caribbean style, with a touch of soul. Oh, that sounds really good. Oh my gosh, I'm hungry now, Michelle. And so Angela's asking what happened to the storefront. Well, protesters went through that store on Monday and they spray painted the young man's name in the store. The front of the store, I'm not quite sure I know what happened in the store. Angry residents in Columbia the store is located on Park Lane Road for those who know Columbia. And they protested, they demonstrated, and they showed their disdain for what happened there. This young man, as the sheriff said, there was no evidence. They canvassed, they did their due diligence and said there was no evidence that he was trying to steal anything. So the motivation then becomes interesting, Rashonda. What was the motivation?
Right. Well, it was a bias. And here's a Black man, and how dare he try to take anything, no matter what it is? Because if you're that store owner is waking up this morning, wherever he is, I don't know if he's behind bars, if he's bonded, if they've done anything yet. But asking yourself, so he's waking up next to Big Charlie this morning, wondering, was this worth it? Yeah. Is this something that? But it was biased. That how dare this kid steal something, because there's nothing in that store that was worth him chasing him out of the store. And this morning he's dealing with that.
Yeah, you see those signs, closed for good. This is what the residents were saying, close it down. Paris Brown wrote in that, I do hope The residents don't forget they should refrain from buying from that store and put him out of business. Well, hopefully, not only is he out of business, but he's won't be a free man for the rest of his life.
Right.
Yeah.
Angela Connolly says the owner had prior altercations with the public. Yeah. So there you have it. This
big man with a gun, right?
Big man with a gun. Yeah, exactly.
I every time that these things happen, I keep on asking myself, what do we have to do? And sitting down waiting for the law to do something, to me, that's not enough. Yeah. It's not enough.
Yeah.
And you know where I always go with this, Stacey.
Go ahead, Barrington.
Yeah.
let us not hamper Barrington. Let's not no, we gotta put some sort of restrictions on.
No, I'm good this morning.
He's good this morning. Well, here's a story. I'll start it this way, and Rashonda, you can help me out. Jay are the letters of his name. Cutting and scratching are the aspects of his game. So check out the master as he cuts these jams, and look at us with the mics in our hands. Then take a count. 1, 2, 3. Jam Master Jay, Run-DMC. Love Run-DMC. Absolutely love Run-DMC. And finally, Jam Master Jay's family is getting a measure of justice, and a significant development. Federal prosecutors in the Eastern District of New York announced on Tuesday that, yesterday was Wednesday, not Tuesday, that a third man would face charges in the 2002 shooting death of Run-DMC star Jam Master Jay. The latest indictment marks a long-awaited progression in a case that has languished for years, bringing renewed hope for justice. Jay Bryant, who's 49 years old, from Queens, New York, has been named the new defendant in the death of Jason Mizell, the renowned musician we know as JMJ, Jam Master Jay. This superseding indictment follows the prior charges brought earlier against Ronald Washington and Carl Jordan Jr. They were both arrested in August of 2020 during the pandemic. Federal and state and city authorities said they had been relentlessly pursuing leads to solve the murder of the hip-hop icon. We remember Jay was tragically shot in the head inside his Jamaica, New York recording studio on October 30th, 2002. It is high time. All of these murders, Tupac, Biggie, they just have never solved. And so this one is really amazing that they stayed on this case. And not sure, Rashonda, Barrington, if we really know how much Jay's, I would imagine his family pushed, but I would imagine Tupac and Biggie's family pushed. So I'm not sure how they were able to stay on this case and solve it.
Well, I think it's because that whole no snitching isn't as strong as it used to be. People trying to get rewards. People are really in a different space. Back then with Tupac and Biggie, they were going to their grave. I'm not snitching anything. But this, we got a new kind of criminal these days, a new kind of gangster. They're like, what kind of deal can I get? I'm just glad that the authorities remained relentless, because this could have been a cold case. And I'm sure Jay thought, 2002, I'm free. I got away with this. So I'm glad to see justice served.
Yeah, it is. Every time I was a police reporter for like 12 years, and the solve rates for homicides might be 20%.
Mm-hmm.
It's real low. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times when they talk about justice, a lot of families don't get it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they've got this dude. I hope it's the right dude.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing for me is that I always think that you do get a measure of justice, but the person is not here anymore. Mm-hmm. There's still that void. There's still that hole.
Yep.
And stuff. So sometimes I wonder, how effective it is. I mean, for the family, knowing that, they got this dude, but the person that you love is gone.
Right.
I recall so well that October night, for a lot of reasons. One, so I was literally down the next block when Jay was killed, visiting someone, and I remember it was three of us sitting in the living room, just hanging out, and we didn't hear any shots or anything like that. But I remember leaving perhaps 2 in the morning. So just to give you an idea, Jay's studio was right behind a very busy. At the time, it wasn't busy because it was late at night, but behind Jamaica Avenue, where it's a huge shopping center, a shopping place for New Yorkers, or those in Queens anyway. And behind that was the bus terminal. Across the street from there, it was the Queens Public Library, and then directly adjacent to the library were this apartment building where I was visiting with some folks, and I remember leaving there, and I remember seeing all of the emergency workers, and not knowing, I didn't even know that that was Jam Master Jay's studio. So I didn't give it a thought and got home. I was living at the time in White Plains, so I had about a half-hour drive from Queens where I had to go. And I just remember the next morning going to work. I worked for a Gannett newspaper at the time, and as soon as I walked in, it was like, "Did you hear what happened?" And I was like, "When?" I was just down the block. And so I covered the funeral, which ironically, the funeral was only a couple blocks from where he was killed. It was right down Merrick Boulevard, um, and which is only, you could walk from Jay's studio to where the funeral took place. And just remember um, all of the artists, Chuck D, Queen Latifah, MC Light, just all of the artists coming out to this funeral. And it was just so sad because I was right there, and I remember Run and those guys, and there's a photo right there. I was just about to describe that. They were wearing the Run-DMC, trademark leather with the fedora and the Adidas sneakers, as you can see on their feet. I remember too, Barrington, which really one of the things I remember about that day right there. If you looked across the street, which we don't have that picture, but on the rooftops, there were snipers on the rooftops,
Oh, really?
all up and down.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do they expect to happen? This is a funeral, Jam Master Jay's funeral. But in hindsight, I guess they knew immediately that this was a drug situation.
So they did establish that, because it was never clear to me what the reason was.
Yeah, it was established that these guys were drug dealers, or they were involved in the drug transaction. What's not clear, I'm not accepting, because he's not here to defend himself, is that Jay was dealing drugs. So I'm not going there, but I do know that that's what they've established, that somehow these guys were mixed up in drug dealing.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, I kind of see the culture. Jay and the Run-DMC in general, that was, the environment. So I could see these guys being friends, or these guys being somebody as part of the crew, and not just, that Run-DMC is dealing drugs. I'm with you, Stay. I'm not buying
Run-DMC was not dealing drugs. That's it's not even a speculation there. But here's the other part of that, though. The other part of that is, I think you hit it a little bit there. These guys, they come from Hollis, Queens. Talking about Run-DMC, they come from Hollis, Queens, and Hollis is a tough, back then anyway. It's a tough neighborhood, tough people. And a lot of these guys, as they started getting, and remember Run-DMC, they were the first hip hop superstars, right? They did the Walk This Way with Aerosmith. I mean, they broke the doors down, right? These guys, like so many others we see today, they don't let that old crew, or the people they used to run with, they don't let them go.
Yeah.
regardless of what they might be doing. And they might be more willing to turn a blind eye to what their homies from the block is doing. They don't want to be labeled sellouts.
Yeah.
So you get a situation like this, unfortunately.
It just makes me sad because I think about the potential lost. Because think of all that he could have done, would have done if he was alive.
Yeah.
And the benefits to us, the benefits to his community, his family, and society. It's incalculable. The loss is just incalculable.
Exactly. And also you think about this, I mean, what you just said is more important than what I'm about to say, but the DJs today, and he was, you couldn't find a better DJ than Jam Master Jay. The DJs today, and I was talking with what's his name, who invented the scratch just recently, Greer, not Tony Crush, but the other,
DJ Kool-Herc?
Theodore, Grandmaster Theodore, who invented the scratch. And we were talking about that. Like DJs today make a whole lot of money. I mean, look at Jazzy Jeff from the Fresh Prince. I mean, this guy is, I'm sure, is a multimillionaire just on DJs. You got DJs making bank.
Yeah.
Like never before.
D Nice.
D Nice. There you go. There you go. It takes Rashonda to this. Power 96 says Run-DMC saved Adidas and made the shoe company, that shoe company, relevant. They did a commemorative Run-DMC Adidas shoe a couple of years ago. I wrote about it actually, and I never got a pair. I need to get a pair. What am I thinking? Monique Daniels.
So you don't know. Call Phil Knight.
Call Phil Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll call. I'll give him a call. He's on my speed dial. DJ Khaled. Monique Daniels says DJ Khaled. Yeah, these guys are making a ton of money. And imagine somebody with Jay's talent.
DJ Khaled is a clown.
He's a clown?
He's so annoying to me. He is. It's like, dude, shut up. Just play the music.
Just play the music.
Yeah.
It must be the music.
Must be the music.
Good morning, David Youngblood. He says he's late. He's apologizing for being. How about that? We've become that must see, David. I love to hear it. Don't tell me different. Don't tell me no, I'm exaggerating. Just let me live in the moment. Michelle Madison says my son is a DJ in Virginia. www. Look, Michelle, you're gonna give us a royalty check for promoting this. DJWestend.com. He and his wife are doing very well with their business. Michelle's son, www.djwestent.com. West Entertainment, I guess. HBCU grants, guys. Howard University yesterday received $203,000 from the U.S. Department of Education in response to the 2022 on-campus disruption caused by a bomb threat. Howard counted among the 4 HBCUs receiving the funding as part of the federal project School Emergency Response to Violence, or Project SERVE. Officials said Howard would use its Project SERVE funds to hire 2 case managers who will be responsible for conducting wellness visits and contacting families on an as-needed basis related to student wellness concerns, as well as a full-time field training specialist who will provide security trainings. Texas Southern University in Houston was awarded $191,962. Delaware State University in Dover, Delaware was awarded $217,000, and Claflin University in Orangeburg, South Carolina received $440,000. So again, Rashonda, the Biden-Harris administration, and of course, Vice President Kamala Harris is a Howard grad. They are continuing their funding and push and grants for HBCUs.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, any kind of way you can find it to funnel some money to these schools, I'm all for it. So, but you know, I do worry about the precedents that can set. You know, but it is what it is. I'm just grateful that they're sending money to these schools.
Yeah, I mean, for so long, the HBCUs we know have been neglected. when it comes to federal funding, when it comes to grants. We know that the former president had claimed that he had done so much for HBCUs, and it turned out that he did nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
do you remember when he had all them HBCU presidents in the White House, and it ended up just being a photo op? I was so pissed.
And the thing about it, didn't you see that coming? I mean, couldn't they see that coming?
No, because what Omarosa sold him a bill of goods.
Yeah.
So she presented it as them having a dialogue and with this dude, but he only talks to people like Steve Harvey and Jim Brown. He don't talk to regular people.
Steve Harvey, who told what's her name that it's not about integrity.
About integrity, it's about the money. Yeah.
We're not Steve Harvey fans on this show, by the way.
No. But I mean, dude making money.
Yeah.
Because I laugh because I'm like, look at his messy life, and he's a relationship expert.
Right.
Steve Harvey can't tell me anything about relationships, marriage, nothing.
Steve Harvey, look, one thing for sure though, he went from was it Def Comedy Jam to the Steve Harvey Show to this. He's like, what's his name? He's the Black Ryan Seacrest. He's everywhere.
Everywhere.
He got a job doing everything.
Yeah.
And is he a judge now? It's like a judge show or something.
Yeah, I think so. But the thing that is interesting to me is that they always pick one.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to spreading it around so everybody can get a piece. They pick an Oprah, they pick a Steve Harvey, as if all of the other folks who are entertainers who have different types of expertise, that they don't matter.
David says HBCUs have a real need for facilities investment. Some are still in buildings over 100 years old without any investment in renovations.
Yeah.
And that obviously is something the vice president talked about a lot, and they're trying to do whatever they can to help.
Well, they need to take some of that $769 billion from the defense budget and give it to HBCUs. It's all about priorities, bruh. They can't say they don't have the money.
Yeah.
Because they have the money, and whenever they need to fund the stuff. I mean, $5.6 trillion transfer from the middle and working class to the richest people under Trump with the tax cuts. $5.6 trillion.
Yeah.
So when they find a way when they want to pay for their stuff.
I'm big on implicit bias, and I think that we see a lot of that when it comes to giving money to HBCUs. And for example, Texas Southern University recently went before the Texas legislature here and made the case for why they should get equitable funding. They're the University of Houston's here, all of the white university, they made the case. Well, the legislator here is like, well, if we give you the money, we're not confident you'll know what to do with it. Or we're not confident you'll spend it the right way, because there's that implicit bias. And again, it goes back to the people making the decisions in the legislature are often do not look like us or have our best interests at heart.
Well, all the racist worms have come out the woodwork.
Yeah.
Because they're not even hiding how they feel anymore. I don't know if you saw the clip of some representative asking a fellow black representative about him going to Harvard, and basically saying, you got in as an affirmative action hire, you lowered the standards of Harvard and I was like, damn, bruh, they're not even hiding anymore.
Right.
Yeah, I was in this is based on something somebody just said. I was in Atlanta last week, right? And I saw something incredible. So I'm on the highway, and this huge sign on the, they give you the this exit here, whatever. But this sign is bigger than the other signs. Tyler Perry Studios, Tyler Perry Way. And then about a mile or two back was Ambassador Andrew Young Road or Boulevard, and Representative John Lewis Street. Huge signs, right, as you pass. And I bring that up because one of the things that I noticed Andrew Young is still alive, obviously, and Tyler Perry is very much alive. We talk about a lot what certain black. We talk about Steve Harvey, but what black people are able to accomplish. And I love the idea of don't name a street after somebody when after they're gone. I mean, you could do that, but if you're gonna do well, try to do it when they're alive so they can enjoy it. I can only imagine being a relative of Tyler Perry or Andrew Young, and passing on the highway, the very busy highway in Atlanta, seeing this huge sign, Andrew Young Boulevard and Tyler Perry Way and Tyler Perry Studios to the right. It's got to be something that you say, what is it? Give them their flowers while they're alive.
Mm-hmm.
But Steve Harvey, I don't want to see a Steve Harvey Way or Steve Harvey Boulevard.
You probably see one though, because it's always they always boost up.
Chris says, I'm never satisfied.
You're never satisfied. You're never supposed to be satisfied.
Oh, there we go.
You're never supposed to be satisfied.
Listen to that. I love that.
And or complacent, never. We're supposed to be the burr under the saddle for these people that claim to be leaders, and the black Miss Leadership class is huge, and they're sitting down fat and cushy and lazy, and nobody's pushing them.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be pushed because, Brad, I'm telling you, Color of Change did some stories maybe 3-4 years ago, talking about Stacey Brown got $1 million from X Corporation. Barrington Simon got $3 million from X Corporation. All these CBC, these house leaders and stuff, so-called leaders, they bought and paid for brethren. So they can't even say what they're no longer. I don't see them as the moral conscience of Congress anymore, because they got to get permission from the people paying them whether they can pursue certain issues, which is crazy.
Monique Daniel says there's a Michael Jordan Highway in Wilmington, North Carolina. I was actually on it 2 years ago.
Yeah, whatever. I feel the same way about.
I want a Scottie Pippen Highway. Oh wait! It's gonna, and before that, it's gonna be a Larsa Pippen.
That's what I was about
drive.
To say. Oh, his wife?
He has double lanes.
Yeah.
What's Michael Jordan's son name? That's dating Scottie Pippen's ex-wife.
Really?
He's been dating.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
His name is I'm gonna soon get tired of this older woman and I'm gonna get somebody younger.
Hey, don't sleep on the older woman. He may
I wouldn't, but these are kids, man. This guy's a kid. He's a kid. He been married for 100 years to Scotty,
but he's smart because young people, young men in particular, need older women to teach them the way they should go.
Let the church say amen.
Yeah. She said, and she's right. Have you seen Scottie Pippen's latest rant about Michael Jordan?
What's wrong with that? It's not a rant. It's not a rant. And I think he's right, because if you saw The Last Dance,
Marcus
made it seem as if Pippen was an afterthought, which is
I didn't
not
watch
true.
The Last Dance. I've heard so much about it. I refuse to watch. I am not. My oldest brother is probably the biggest Michael Jordan fan you'll ever find, but I despise Michael Jordan.
Oh, I've always despised
Absolutely
it. But I watched it. I was curious, so I watched it. But I mean, listen, when Harvey Gantt ran against Jesse Helms and asked Jordan for his endorsement, he said Republicans buy shoes too. And that's when I was like, burn this dude.
We were in a restaurant in Louisiana over the weekend, and the Last Dance, I guess, was on. Now there was a college baseball game. I was facing the college baseball game, and my wife was on the other side of the table, and she was facing the TV that had The Last Dance. And she kept looking at it. She kept asking questions about Michael Jordan because it was on.
And you didn't answer.
I kept on eating and talking about something else, and getting myself in trouble. But it's a conversation I just can't stomach. Don't talk to me about that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I was so surprised because when I went to the African American History Museum, he gave $5 million. That's like, who? He fell and bumped his head. and he gave money after George Floyd was murdered. So I'm like, what? I'm not quite sure what happened to him, because he ain't never cared about anything like that.
No. Him and O.J. Simpson are in the same boat. In my view, they are the exact same boat. They could be twins. Only Michael Jordan has not yet taken a knife to a white woman.
You putting Jordan with OJ?
That's the only thing he hasn't done. He hasn't taken a knife to his ex-wife.
My goodness.
Power 96 says he needs a sugar mama. Where do he apply?
Power 96 said he needs a sugar mama.
Yeah.
You're all over the place.
Power 96 is married. He got to cut that out.
His sugar mama probably still in the bed. It's 7
right
in the morning.
He got to cut that out. Greer's getting on our case, Barrington. She says we stay hating.
Listen. I'm never gonna give credit to somebody who doesn't deserve it, and Michael Jordan doesn't deserve it.
One thing about Scottie Pippen,
he's getting all this play because he's an athlete, he's a quote unquote celebrity, and he's a billionaire.
And the one thing about Scottie Pippen's rant, had he not been ranting, he could have actually made some sense. I mean, he cannot say that Michael Jordan wasn't good. I mean, Michael Jordan was great. Yes, he was. I have to admit that on the basketball court. But his point was Michael Jordan played in the NBA for 8 years and didn't win a thing. Isaiah Thomas's team dominated Michael Jordan teams, and Scottie Pippen came along, and so did Dennis Rodman, and so did others on that team, the Grants, Horace and Harvey Grant. And then Michael Jordan's team started winning championships.
Yeah.
And so Scottie, if he wasn't raging about it, he could have actually made some sense.
But I don't see why you're assuming that because he's raging and he ain't making sense.
Well, no, the reason why I say that, because when he in his rage, he was saying he was not a good player. He's not.
Yeah.
You can't say that, Scottie.
Yeah,
you lose everybody right there.
You got to pass the comments. That's all.
David Youngblood says Michael Jordan has been missing in action on issues of importance to Black people. He's O.J. Simpson II.
Yeah.
He's MJ Simpson. That's what he is. I you know what? Suffice to say, I guarantee you, if you do your research and try to take a little bit of research, Michael Jordan has probably never talked, not only to the Black press, but he's probably never talked to a Black reporter before, other than Ahmad Rashad, who I questioned their relationship, and I'll leave it at that.
Is Ahmad Rashad really a journalist?
No, he's not a journalist. He's an ex-athlete.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I mean, man, when Michael Jordan was with the Wizards, I worked at DC Public Schools.
That's when I enjoyed him the most.
And they arranged for him to go to an elementary school. And this big Negro walked into the school with his empty hands. He ain't bring nothing for the kids. They would have given him anything to give the kids, but he didn't care about that type of stuff.
Yeah, and
I was like, bruh.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
And see, for me and Barrington, that defines Michael Jordan more than anything he's ever accomplished on the court.
Yeah.
It defines him. And that's the way it goes. O.J. Simpson II is who Michael. And so when that scandal comes up, when they're looking, when the cops descend on his North Carolina mansion, we will know that he decided to go full O.J. So,
oh Lord.
Listen, when O.J. Simpson, the first time when they went to his house, right? This is, and they said his ex-wife was murdered. Immediately, I said he killed her. Immediately. There was something about it. Was not like I followed his personal life so closely, but it was something about O.J. Simpson that told me immediately he killed Nicole Brown Simpson.
But you know what's interesting? I am not 100% convinced that he did.
Oh gosh.
No. I'm serious. I keep on thinking it's one of his relatives that did it.
That's what my youngest brother initially said he thought it was, and maybe he still believes this, thought it was the son.
Yeah, that's what
OJ did it. Case closed. Johnny Cochran Johnny Cochran played the LAPD. Johnny Cochran played the LA District Attorney's Office, and Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran didn't play them. He did his job.
Oh, he did his job, but he played them.
He did his job
like a fiddle. Like a that Marsha Clark and that other guy, the other guy who, oh God,
yeah,
that guy was the worst. Put the gloves on, OJ. Put the gloves on. Put the gloves on.
No, they were outmatched. It's just like Biden with Kevin McCarthy. He beat the brakes off of them. That's all. and convince a jury. I mean,
Rashonda, did OJ kill Nicole?
You know what? I'm sorry. I think I'm with Barrington on this.
You're Barrington on that?
I am. I think he's covering for somebody. Now, my girlfriend is always like, he did it. He wrote a book and said he did it. But
if I did it, he should have taken that if out of there and said, I did it. Oh, my God.
Let OJ come looking for you,
But listen, OJ, he got arthritis everywhere. He can't move.
That don't mean nothing. He can still thrust a knife.
See, he did it. That's a shame. Look, Gris says that trial was historic. That trial was historic for so many. But she says it wasn't the other guy, the Kardashian's father. Yeah, Rob Kardashian.
Yeah,
Rob Kardashian. When you look at when they said we, the jury, in the above entitled action find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty. Rob Kardashian, if you look at the defense table, he was the defense attorney who had his mouth. Oh my God!
Yeah,
he actually got away with this.
I was in Miami working for the Miami Times, and it was a split screen for the verdict. Oh, Black folks losing their minds, white people pissed and crying. And
Times Square was packed like it was New Year's Eve.
Really?
Everybody looking at the screens.
Yeah.
The Knicks were playing the Rockets, Rashonda, and the NBA Finals and the NBA championship. Right? They split the NBC. Because you remember OJ worked for NBC at the time.
Yeah.
And they split the screen on the car chase, the Bronco chase.
Yeah.
And I remember people at the Garden sold out, Matt, 20,000 people. Half the people at the concession stands watching the TV, watching the chase.
Yeah.
Because everybody thought that was going to be the end of OJ anyway. But and OJ finally says he's not Khloe Kardashian's dad. I don't believe that. I think he is. I think he did
it. You think he did it? You think he the daddy?
I think he the daddy. I think he did
it. Them people are so messy.
Oh,
it's so messy.
Yeah, we cannot spend any time on the Kardashians. So there is a new dictionary coming out, Black dictionary, pretty much. It's precise, definite, and they're going to give us the precise definitions for bussin', chitlins, and cakewalk. It's going to be distributed to the world in 2025 with the new name from the Oxford University Press. It's called the Oxford Dictionary of African American English. They called it an entirely unequaled list. During a recent presentation, those tied to the new dictionary revealed that they've already selected 100 words to include in its dictionary and has its eyes set on a March 2025 publication date. And so some of the words, bussin', right? So that means especially describing food, tasty, delicious. Also, more generally, it's impressive or excellent. It describes a party or an event, a busy crowd, lively crowd. And so there will be variant forms of the word bussin'. Then there's the word grill, a removable or permanent dental overlay, typically made of silver, gold, or another metal, and often inset with gemstones, which is worn as jewelry. There's several words on there. Okay, Rashonda, what are we thinking about this?
You know, when I saw this, I felt like I needed my black card revoked. Because when I first saw bussin', I didn't guess what that was. I thought like bussin' tables. I don't know.
Really?
I did. And then grill, wow. I was like barbecue. Now I know what a grill is, but when I upon first sight, I was like, okay, barbecue. They putting that in there. Yeah, but a lot of that I had never heard of. I only associated the cakewalk with back in the day, but Aunt Hager's children, ring shout. These some words I was like,
yeah, I've never heard somebody use that for Aunt Hager's children. I've never heard that.
No.
Paris Brown said we are all too old.
Right.
That's okay. That's okay.
So cakewalk, something easily done. I mean, that's okay. I mean, that's not what's different about that? Even chitlins, right? What's different about that? But then there's old school. We know what old school is. It says characteristics. They give their definition will be characteristics of early hip hop or rap music that emerged in New York City between the late 70s to the mid 80s. Actually, it was early in the 70s, which often includes the use of couplets, funk, and disco samples and playful lyrics. Gosh, they and Gates is Henry Gates, Professor Gates is one of the folks that they are relying heavily on to get this right.
Oh, see that? Then that's where they got on Hager's children from. That's a
right.
But I didn't know pat was a black word. Patting your foot. I didn't know that was a black word.
Didn't know it either. So
you learn something new every day.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see all 100 words. They released 10 words, but I'd like to see all, because some of this stuff it doesn't and it will never make sense to me. Barrington, I know you have a few words that maybe they're not black words. I don't know.
Well, hell, if I said them, they're black words.
Right.
Well, I was thinking more French.
They may not be popular, like, used by a bunch of people, but hell, they're still black.
Yeah.
Why do people say pardon my French when they curse?
I don't know.
As much as you curse? But you never say pardon my French.
I don't apologize for
right.
If I say, what the hell?
Rashawn, do you have any idea? Pardon my French.
I don't. I mean, do the French curse all the time?
That's my thought.
No more than anybody else.
Yeah.
So I guess that's our homework, Stacey. We got to go find out what part
it's a made up word too. Made up phrase.
Probably. Because like you said, Barrington, we're not apologizing.
I don't apologize.
We're not in the business of apologizing.
If I said it, I said it.
That's right. I said what I said.
Yeah. It's funny because this woman on Facebook, she was like, I just can't take it. You're always cursing, and people who curse is a sign of I don't know, diminished mind or something.
Vocabulary.
And I said, yo, girl, anytime you want to go one-on-one with vocabulary, roll up, let's do it. I will kick your butt up and down the street. I mean, it's so foolish to think that because you curse that you lack knowledge, that you're not intelligent. Please,
interesting fact. Did you know that your curse words are on a different side of your brain than the other vocabulary?
Really?
So my mother has aphasia. My mother has aphasia, so she can't talk, but she can say curse words. So her brain surgeon said it's because the curse words are stored on the opposite side of her brain. So everything that comes out of her mouth is gibberish except the curse words. And they said
she curses you out, huh?
Oh yeah, she'll curse in a minute.
That's the only way she talks.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So it's gibberish, curse word. And my son, when he was little, he just would find it hilarious and would just sit there.
That's interesting, Rashonda.
I learned something today. Wow.
Yeah. So I got what side of the brain? Because I don't curse.
You don't curse?
Said it was on the left side. The curse words are on the left.
Have you heard me curse?
No.
Thank you. Listen, you curse enough for all of us.
Have you heard me curse?
All the time.
I don't curse.
All the time.
Look, I have 3 kids. I think I get a curse pass. I'm able to curse.
Yeah.
They get on the nerves.
That's their job, to get on your nerves.
Yeah.
David Youngblood says curse words sometimes express the exact sentiments of people and nothing else will do.
Yeah. Like when I'm cursing Orange Jesus, there are no non-curse words that are appropriate to describe that fool. So You know.
We will have none of that. Pardon my French.
Hey, tick tock, tick tock. That son of a, you know what's going down.
Rashonda, you see Rashonda's eyes. I wish we had like an instant replay.
She thought I was gonna say the word. She's like, oh, no,
She's about to reach her hand through the screen and snatch you by your neck.
I know, Stacey. I don't tape delay.
Stacey's been saying that they want to put tape delay on here.
I know.
Oh gosh. Michelle Madison, who is a fan of Barrington, says Barrington makes me proud to curse. Hashtag role model.
Thank you.
So folks, June is officially here, and it's officially Black Music Appreciation Month. And President Biden recognized that by issuing a proclamation. He says that during Black History Month, we pay homage to legends of American music who have composed the soundtrack of American life. Their creativity has given rise to distinctly American art forms that influence contemporary music worldwide and sing the soul of the American experience. He says much of Black music is rooted in African rhythms, coupled with the experience of slavery and struggle in America. Barred from expressing themselves in their native tongues, enslaved people developed a language to articulate their hopes, dreams, sense of loss, and tenacity to overcome the harrowing nature of their lives. So Power 96 reminds us it is Juneteenth month, but Black Music Appreciation Month. Rashonda, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I love it. I love because music is so essential to who we are. So I love us being able to celebrate. As you were reading Biden's statement, it was so funny to me because I couldn't help but go back to the Orange One's statement. And it just seems so like I could see Joe Biden in the White House jamming some Sam Cooke. And then, I think about Trump's statement when he was supporting Black History Month and talking about his friendship with Frederick Douglass, and which just seems so unreal and superficial. So I really am glad to see it acknowledged, and I love us teaching our young people. So I don't know if this is a made up month or what, but I'm glad we have it.
Yeah, it's so interesting because most of the time that I'm writing, the TV's on in the background. They wouldn't have no goddamn commercials or anything without Black music, because just about every song that they have on there, they've clipped from some Black musician, some Black group, and it's like, and I only hope that these folks that made the music are getting paid their real money for these commercials and advertisements.
Well, it's like that. And that's the way it is. One thing I know is that life is short. So listen up, homeboy. Give this a thought. The next time someone's teaching, why don't you get taught? Run-DMC.
We'll be blasting that all day.
Thanks. I didn't know you were a Run-DMC person.
Oh gosh, I grew up with those guys. You kidding me?
You give me a new appreciation. You're not as stuffy as you pretend to be sometimes.
What? I what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my gosh.
Consult the African American Dictionary.
Yeah, I know. I was looking for a stuffy word to say. What in the world? Black music is the soundtrack of American life.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
David Youngblood. It certainly is. And I think that's what the president said as well.
Yeah.
It's certainly the soundtrack of mine. That boy, oh boy, just thinking about, come on, we can reminisce, right, about grandma and her backyard barbecues and oh my gosh, and just hanging out, with the friends on the block, with the family, with the cousins, and throwing on the jams and going to the park for the jams, DJs in the park.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we used to have groups like Jamaica Sounds, Phase 2, and all that. Oh my gosh.
When I lived in Jamaica, we would have what we call sound systems. And we'd have these huge 18-inch boxes that they'd stack on top of each other, that you could stay in Washington, D.C. and hear the music in Miami. And that's how it was. I mean, music was everything, man.
Block parties.
Yeah, man.
Oh gosh, Rashonda's smiling. She know what it's all about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm a music connoisseur. My playlist. I had a friend recently was like, "Can you get some updated music?" Because I'm jamming everybody from the Temptations to Nelly.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We going down. Oh my gosh. Michelle, no, I don't. She said you rap very well. No, I don't. Thanks a whole lot for joining us, Rashonda, as always, and Barrington, the man himself. And you know what? We will fix Austin. We'll take care of Austin.
I know.
We will take care of that guy going out to Cali like he's like this big shot and stuff like that.
He's a big shot. I mean, every week he's traveling somewhere because he was in Abuja recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I want to be like you when I grow up.
And you call me Stuffy?
I just tease you. I call you Stuffy because you're Jehovah's Witness.
But you know what? Greer says that I am what she says I am petty. She says that
really?
Yeah, I mean, I get it bad. Rashonda, you gotta come.
But
you gotta pray for me, Rashonda.
No, but the good thing is that I don't know any other Jehovah's Witness person who is as hip as you are.
Oh, I do.
They sure as hell don't quote well, they don't show it to me. I just get them saying that they want to see if they can help me to go to heaven. And I'm like, I don't need your help to go to heaven. I'm gonna be fine.
You ain't going to heaven. I can tell you that now.
I am going to heaven. All of you all going to be talking about how the hell did this dude get here? Yeah.
That would be a news story. Who's going to write it?
You better start writing, bruh.
Oh boy, we close with David Youngblood. He says, reminiscing about backyard barbecues and music brings back memories of family and friends and neighborhood, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Black Music Appreciation Month. We're gonna do some other things about that this month, I'm pretty sure.
You should.
Stay tuned. And Rashonda, always a pleasure. In Barrington, of course. Thank you all.
Great to meet you.
You too.
Oh, y'all hadn't met before.
No, first time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then never mind. We gotta go. We gotta go.
Right. Cut. It's a wrap.
Get the camera off. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.